All right, everyone, welcome to the 2025 NL Men's Tankard. Here we have Team Symonds throwing yellow rocks versus Team Lello throwing blue rocks. We are going to have a game for you today, guys. This is going to be a really good one. We have Team Lello with a double life record of 8-1 through the triple knockout, and Team Symonds looking to win this one and to move on to a second final, if you will, with a record of 5-2. I'm Emily Neary. Today I have Mark Noseworthy with me in the second chair here, and we're in for a good one.
Thank you, Emily. It should be a barn burner here today. Symonds is the defending champ, so he's not going to go down easy, but up against a team, Lello, who they've won, they're 8-1 overall in the triple knockout, but they're on a 7-game win streak. So when you get on a roll like that, you got a lot of things going right, and it should be a beauty today. And first rock is underway here. And by virtue of the record, the team Lello would have the hammer.
Absolutely. So they are 8-1. Of course, we know this is a triple knockout. So the team that is left, that is the winner at the end of the day, will have less than 3 losses. Symonds is currently at 2. So this is a must-win game for him to stay alive. And we'll see if Team Lello can pull it off. They only have 1 loss, so if they get the loss today, they will have a double life, and there will be a second final.
Of note here today, Emily, it should be noted that in the Symonds won the A final, and these two teams did not meet in the A side at all. In the B side, these two teams met in the B final with Lello winning, and they also met again in the C final with Lello winning. So right now, they're 2-0 in this event against Team Symonds.
They are, and that's a pretty good showing from these guys out here. Of course, we all, I'm sure, recognize Ryan McNeil-Lambswood, Daniel Bruce, and Aaron Feltham. They've all been playing together for the past number of years. But they brought in Ty Lello, and who's playing skip position, and he's from Winnipeg, Manitoba. So that was a new addition to the team this year. And so far, it's looking pretty good for him, Mark.
Yeah, it's not bad. They seem to be playing pretty good. Well, anytime you get on a roll of 7 wins in a row at a Tankard level, you're doing something right.
Absolutely. Yep. After watching this week, they all throw a good rock. That's really important at this level, that all players are just as capable as each other. That's what you need to be the best.
One thing I've noticed this week so far, Emily, is the ice this week is a lot straighter than it has been in our club all year. Before Christmas, we had loads of curl, both sides of the sheet, inside out, outside in, and now there's a small bits of curl, but there's lots of spots here. It's still fairly straight. So it just changes how both teams will have to play the game. And if a team gets down early, it makes it a lot tougher to get back. So I think you're going to see both teams play pretty close to the chest here. And a deuce in this game could be a big end and could give somebody control of the game. And I doubt if we're going to see a 3 or 4 ender scored. I don't think that's the way these teams are going to play this game.
Absolutely. I fully agree, Mark. Obviously, we saw these two teams play each other earlier on today with Team Lello coming out on top. But that game in itself was very close. We had scores of 1 every end, I do believe, and or at least for the most part. And it was a really close game. One thing to note is that most of the game was played with hits instead of draws, and I think that speaks to the straightness of the ice. It's been really hard to bury rocks this week, and as someone who did play a couple games, the ice is definitely tricky out there. So I think the race to figure out the ice first is going to be really important for this game here.
Yeah, I agree, Emily. I think that's the ice is going to be a factor in terms of the type of play we're going to see today. Now, that said, part of that, which is not uncommon, when you see teams get to a final, a big final, nobody wants to get too aggressive and risk giving up a big end early.
Absolutely.
So everybody plays it a little bit tighter, just trying to feel out your opposition, feel out the ice, and see how it's going to go, and maybe wait for a break or a half a miss or something and try to take an advantage of that.
For sure.
And I should just mention on our broadcast, we have the ladies' final going on at the same time, which is also being broadcast on our YouTube channel between Brooke Godsland and Kiri Vittor. So potentially both finals here on right now, and we're looking for a couple of good games.
Looks like we'll be having 2 screens going at home today.
That's what it looks like for a lot of people.
Absolutely. If it were me, I'd have both games up 100%. These are going to be good.
Well, right now there's no guards in play, but I think Team Symonds is playing a guard on this rock here now that's in the 4 foot. And if you notice, he's only got about a foot or a foot and a little bit, maybe 15 inches of ice to guard that. You go back to October here, you would have put the broom out in the middle of the 12 foot.
Yeah, it just goes to show how straight this ice is.
That tells you what you need to know.
Especially at a guard weight here. A nice throw there from third Trent Skanes for Andrew Symonds. Might have overcurled just a hair, but I think does the job.
Well, even if you're overcurl a hair on ice that's straight, it's still not that easy. I mean, it's pretty easy to miss the whole works, or if you get a hair tight, you got to hope your sweepers can back it off a little bit, or you're going to just rub the top guard.
Exactly. Yeah, I've seen a good few rocks back off from sweeping this week for sure.
Again, they probably got just shy of a foot of ice here, so he's probably playing down weight.
Looks like board here, Mark.
Solid board.
Sweeping for curl.
Yep.
Can he move it?
The key to that shot was trying to hold a shooter, but they just roll out, which gives Symonds a chance to come around that guard again. I think if you play it fairly tight to the guard, there's just enough curl that he can get sunk by the time he gets to the top of the 1 foot.
I agree.
But you still got to be pretty tight to the guard. If you get by the guard by 4 or 5 inches, you're going to be half or more open.
Absolutely. Yeah, the draws are definitely going to be paper close to the guards today. So, of course, no stranger to either of these teams here. We have Team Symonds, who most recently went to the Brier last year as Team NL 2024, but also had another Brier appearance in 2019. And I believe it was a little bit of a different lineup in 2019. But either way, 2-time Brier appearance is not too shabby.
That's a good draw by Trent Skanes. He's mostly buried. The only downside, he's just slipped a little bit behind the tee line. Gives the other team a chance to come down and sit on it. Now, what I'm noticing here, all the play, most of the draws this end have been on that in-turn side. Now we're going to see an out-turn draw. And there seems to be a little more curl on this side based on the ice he's giving.
You know, playing on sheet 4, I've heard around the club this week that 3 and 4 are pretty much mirror images, and it does add up that there would be a little bit more curl on this side.
They must have thrown on this curl in practice, because normally, unless you know for sure, you won't guess at the come around. You'd play the same turn, But for the people watching, he just slipped to the back of the 8 foot. Now, Symonds has gone back to the in-turn again. If he can get around to the top of the 4 foot here, and pretty much the same line that his third had, Skanes got by the guard by 3 or 4 inches, and he's 90% buried at the back of the 1 foot. So if Symonds can get around and be 80 or 90% behind that guard in the top of the 4 foot, they're going to put a bit of squeeze on the opposition.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is going to be a key shot here for Symonds.
Thing here, you can't be heavy. You can be short, and it's still not the end of the world.
Absolutely. All about tolerance.
His line looks pretty good, or the boys are just dusting it.
It looks pretty close.
Starting to curl here now.
And they do have it by. Is the weight there to freeze? Looks like it.
That looks like a pretty good curling rock to me, Emily.
That's a really nice shot there, Mark. Absolutely.
Buried, full 4 foot.
Definitely making Team DeLello play something that they didn't really want to.
They're going to have to play the run back here. He has no other option. And the thing about it, if he doesn't make some contact through the rings, he's probably going to have to draw the edge of the 1 foot and the out turn, because that's not available on the in turn side. So this is a big shot in this end.
Absolutely. First rock here from Skip Ty DeLello. He's got to make contact with these back two. And we're off.
Big shot.
I don't know, Mark. Coming down, it's not looking the greatest. Unfortunate straight
I think he
peel.
might have hung that a little wide.
I agree.
Now, if Symonds can place a guard here, he's going to have a tough shot to score. Now, I alluded to the fact that on the rock that was heavy that Lambswood threw, that went to the back of the 8 foot, they went from the in turn to the out turn.
They did.
And they took about 1.5 foot more ice than they've been taking on the in turn side. And now, I know he was a bit heavy, but I still don't think it was going to come over enough for him. Like, that was pretty wide coming by the guard.
I agree. Even if there is a little bit more curl on that out turn that he was throwing, still, I think a hair too much ice, even though he was heavy.
Even though he was heavy, I mean, these guys all use time clocks and split time, so I don't think they probably just had a little bit of a miscue thrown on the weight judgment, but I think the line was off.
Yep. Symonds putting back up this guard here now. It's looking pretty good.
That looks like a pretty good rock. He might have to play the run back again.
He might, Mark.
Because that draw,
that's pretty good.
There's no margin of error on that draw at all.
Looks like we're opting for the run yet again.
Well, he just threw it, so your odds are probably going to go up.
Absolutely.
Playing the same shot again. He'll be happy if he just makes contact with one of the yellows and kills one of them and only gives up a steal of one.
Absolutely.
He'd be happy with that. Right now, he's facing a steal of two in the opening end.
For sure. And that's definitely not what you want to start off what could be a Tankard final with.
Going to be close.
Looks pretty close. Oh, unfortunately, just still hangs straight for him there.
Big steal of two for Team Symonds in the first end here. And I think, if you're asking me, Emily, I think it goes back to that draw shot. And I think taking the other turn had something to do with it, if you're asking me.
I agree, Mark. That was an unfortunate miss there on that out turn draw, but just couldn't come back from it either. But again, it's only early, so that'll be a steal of two for Team Symonds in the first end. Ty DeLello will carry over Hammer into the second, and we will be back in just a few moments with you folks. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the 2025 NL Tankard. We have Team Symonds up 2-0. to Team DeLello. Second end action here now. We had Symonds throw up a center guard. Not quite sure if that's touching the line. It should be, but of course we are looking through a screen, so a little bit harder to tell. But we have a draw call from Team DeLello. And that was a big steal for Andrew Symonds in the first. Big steal of 2. Unfortunately, just Ty DeLello only had a run to play there. And unfortunately didn't make contact with the back 2 yellows. So that resulted in a steal there. We saw a really nice draw there from lead Aaron Feltham of Team DeLello. And I know I mentioned Andrew Symonds and company's Brier appearances, but we also have another Brier appearance player out on the ice today, and that is Ryan McNeil Lambswood at third on the DeLello team. He had a Brier appearance in, let me double check here, I believe it was 2021. It was 2021, and so that was that appearance for him, which is a great success. But just takes that guard there.
That's not what Symonds wanted there.
Not great.
Oh, now
that moves his own center guard off center. And we are playing the no-tick rule this week. So that's quite unfortunate for him.
Well, DeLello, he doesn't have to get all the points back here. It's a 10-inning game, but you got to force it a little bit. You can't give the other team a lot of confidence. So you got to try to, if you can get a couple back, perfect. But you don't have to go all out aggressive.
For sure.
You got to wait for a chance. Right now there's a long guard and they got a rock on the 4-foot. So again, this is hanging out. I'm not sure if it was a little too much ice or if he's just hung it out a little wide, but it's going to be wide open. Probably going to give a double for a double opportunity for Team Symonds here.
And there it is. A double and hopefully a flop under for Team Symonds. You have Stephen Trickett throwing second rocks here today. All curlers on the ice are pretty accomplished. Of course, being in a Tankard final, I think that that's an accomplishment in itself. But Stephen Trickett has a 2017 CIS or university gold medal, and was also at the Brier with Andrew Symonds in 2024. And that's a pretty good rock there.
That's a good shot. And got a slight inside roll. So it just makes the hit and roll for the Lello squad a little tougher. But again, with the ice being straight, these hits and rolls, you only need board weight because you're not getting a lot of curl.
No, that's for sure.
It looked to me on our angle here that he set that back.
I agree, Mark. I've got a little wide on this one.
That's got to curl a ton.
Really working this one.
I think he's going to make contact, but he's not going to get a large chunk of it.
Does make contact, but
just enough to get it out.
Yeah, it rolls out at the same time.
When the ice is straight, you can't be wide. You can be a little tight, and your sweepers can still hold the line. But he had good. I like the weight they were calling, just bumper type weight on these hits.
Absolutely.
With the ice so straight, if you're throwing full weight, if you're off a hair, you roll out. And the thing about putting pressure on your opposition is you got to keep your shooter in play all the time.
Want to note here again, Mark, we have Symonds still taking that same side of the sheet, in this case an out-turn draw, but it is the left-hand side of the sheet here that he is opting to draw on, which is what they were throwing in the first end. So it might be that they threw it first end, they liked it, they kept it, but it also could be that they think this side is better.
Well, not a lot of finish, that's deep, and only started to curl the last 5 or 6 feet. But Lello's gone back to the intern side again. Now again, they're drawing and they're taking inside the 4-foot, and they just need to cross the center line by a foot, not less than a foot. They get buried. So he doesn't want to freeze it. He's trying to get down to the top part of the 4-footer in behind that guard.
Yeah, definitely looking for above tee here.
Again, he might have been a hair wide on when he let this go, Daniel Bruce. But he got lots of line. But it is curling a bit here.
Really sweeping for weight by the looks of it as well.
He's going to be partially behind the guard, I believe, but he's still going to be primarily open. But now, where that is, it almost acts as a guard.
Yeah, unfortunately, just a little too much of that rock still visible from the hack, I do believe, and didn't quite get shot there either.
The danger here, if Symonds goes to guard it, that yellow rock may be accessible on the outturn, and you only got to push it 3 or 4 inches and you could lie 2, and Symonds would have guarded the one at the top of the 8 foot, so that's the dilemma he has.
Definitely some thought going into this one here. What do you like here, Mark? I think I'm kind of partial to the hit and roll.
Well, I think if you want to stay out of trouble, I like coming around on top on the outturn. Even if they make the slash, they might set up a double for coming back for you, and the one you hit onto your own, that top one in the 8 foot, may roll back over in the open.
Really calling to keep this rock straight here.
They're working on this now. They're trying to. They don't want to jam it.
I'm trying real hard. And just makes it over the top there. That's pretty good.
That's a good shot. Grant Skane's always been a nice thrower. Had a couple, two for sure junior championships. And I think he played in the club national championships one year. I think that was like 2018, maybe 2017.
I believe he's played mixed nationals as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he's played in a couple of mixed.
Yep.
Oh, he's been around a while. His dad was a great player, Bob.
Looks like we're throwing a hit and roll here from Team Lello. Just try and flop underneath that yellow guard.
When you're on off, it must be close.
Must be. Trying for the double there by the looks of it, and just
I think they just left that a hair too long.
Just a hair.
Well, Symonds would like to hit and roll here behind that guard.
I think looking at a possible jam back here, just trying to make sure that won't be an issue.
If you roll right behind the guard, is going to be pretty close to making contact with that yellow one. Whether or not it hangs around in the 12 foot, I'm not sure.
Probably not top priority for Symonds here, simply because the hit and roll allows them to stick shots too, no matter the jam or not. But definitely something to consider, because biters, as we all know, come back to bite you.
Well, when 2 round rocks hit square, it's always a physics dilemma.
That's for sure, Mark.
Must be close here again.
Got the on-off call.
He avoided the jam, but he did roll. I believe he's mostly open on the outturn side here. So you're going to see Lello ignore the top one, and he's playing around the guard on the in-turn side again, trying to get in behind cover. And he's going to try to push for a two-winder here.
Yeah, really just trying to move the rocks around instead of straight hitting. Really needs rocks in play to score here, so we'll see just a lighter weight come down here.
Now, one thing I've noticed already in the second end, because the players are throwing towards us, is a lot of these players have that pop release. So the ice is so straight here, and you're taking ice where you hope it's going to curl, but you got that pop release. So before the rock starts to curl, it's 3/4 of the way down the sheet.
Fully agree, Mark. We're directly behind the sheet, and seeing the throwers throw, there is a little bit of outward motion on a lot of those releases out here today. So
I mean, the person putting the broom down in the head here has to account for that. But again, if you let it go clean all of a sudden, you got to try to hold the line. But that's easier to do when the ice is straight.
For sure.
But it's something to keep an eye on. Even though the line wasn't what they wanted here, it's still not an easy shot for Symonds, because the ice is so straight, you can't flash it or can't flare it out at all here. You can probably see 3/4 of it, but you got to get pretty close to the nose to get it out of the 8 foot.
Looks like we got a decent amount of ice here. Maybe just trying to move these rocks around a little bit. Yeah, see a motion from Trent Skeins there, looking to move it
Just
to
got to get it out
back
to the
12.
out to the back 8 foot or the 12 foot. But he's going to have to get pretty close to the nose here. So that guard's going to come and play. And with that ice, he's probably only throwing hack weight.
Yeah, definitely a lighter weight here. And
I mean, with that ice, I can't see him throwing much more than that. I'd be surprised if it's all board.
looks like board mark out of his hand. Coming down the sheet here now. Just makes it by that first guard. And a really nice rock there from Andrew Symonds.
That's a beauty.
And does get the blue all the way out of the house, which is a bonus.
Well, again, Andrew Symonds doesn't really have that pop release. It's more like a clean release.
I fully agree.
But the other couple of guys on the team, where they're younger, they've kind of sort of grown up with learning how to do that small pop.
Absolutely. Just a bit more positive.
Which a lot of teams have, which is fine. It's just, as a skip, you'd like to have everybody in your team with the same release. And I know a lot of teams at the high level, at the Grand Slam level, put a lot of work in, so everybody releases the rock exactly the same. So they get the same amount of curl.
Absolutely, Mark.
And it makes it easier for the skip to know where to put the broom down.
Really just
one player to the next.
Keeps it consistent and takes out a lot of the guesswork for sure. Simplifies the game as much as possible, which is what you need. So we've got a draw from Skip Lello here.
Well, he's going to get by the guard by a couple of feet here. So
it's looking pretty wide.
They haven't touched the broom to it. He's heavy.
Will he stick around for second? Looks close, but hard to tell from here. Symonds boys having a look at these.
I think if you're Symonds, you come to the center line, half in the 8 foot. That way, if he makes a double, he's only scoring one. If he doesn't make the double, you're going to steal one or two, or if he mishits it, he could pick his own out the back. I think if you come right in, you're going to make his draw easier. You're just going to give him he'll have to forfeit the draw too.
I agree, Mark. They're putting their brooms up.
That's what they're indicating. Just
exactly where you said. Yeah, you got it.
And he doesn't have to be on the center line. He can be 3 or 4 inches off the center line to make the draw as tough as possible. Because I don't think Lello will try to come through any kind of small hole, because if it doesn't curl at all, you're going to crash.
Yeah, I really like the thought that's going into this rock placement here, Mark. Especially being a couple inches on the right-hand side of the center line. Like you said, really, really makes that draw as hard as possible for Lello.
Well, it makes the draw path then is going to be about 1.5 foot wider than what he just threw on. So the ice is still fairly fresh out there.
So really just looking to get this rock on the Y in realty in the top 12 here. Had a nice discussion, but definitely worth it, I think.
Well, if danger here, if he comes in and he overcurls it all here, it might give Lello a double for 2. But even if he's short here, and even not in the rings, the double on the other side to get to it doesn't exist, I'm pretty sure, because you'd have to slash it across the top. You're probably going to lose your shooter.
Absolutely.
In which case, if you hit it wrong, you give up 2, so you probably wouldn't play it anyway.
This rock's looking real close.
You can just get it a little bit deeper. That's a good spot. So you got to play a wide draw. And now, this is a big shot here. You don't want to go down 3.
Absolutely not.
Now, I know there's 8 ends left, but it's still...
Like we said earlier, Mark, getting down this early, especially on straight ice where the draws around are difficult, is definitely not the way you want to start.
Well, when I coach, I used to tell all my junior teams, if you're down 3 after 2 ends in a 10-end game, that means in 8 ends, you have to outscore your opposition by 4 points. And at this level, in an 8-end game, that's pretty tough to go.
That is quite a lot, Mark.
That's basically what you got left, is an 8-end game.
Absolutely.
So, again, this is where Skips earn their money. Draw for 1.
100%.
It's the biggest shot a Skip has to make. Draw for 1 when you're in trouble.
The boys really working this one here. Really, really working it. Does he have the draw? Does he have it made? It's past the top yellow. And there it is, guys.
Great draw, great sweep.
Really nice scrub
by
there
Daniel
from
Bruce and Aaron Felton
absolutely. What a scrub.
I wasn't sure that was going to make it.
Neither was I, Mark, if I'm being completely honest.
Well,
but
that keeps this game definitely within reach.
That's exactly why skips make the big bucks.
But again, as a skip, you got to give it a chance. If you're heavy, you take everybody out of it.
Absolutely. All right, folks. What a last shot there to finish off the second end. Score is now 2-1 for Team Symonds. They will have the hammer in the third, but we'll be back in just a few moments with you. All right, folks, we're back for third end action in the what could be a final of the 2025 NL Tankard. Team Lello throwing up the center guard here with Blue Rocks, and Team Symonds electing to draw around this. Just want to update on the women's final on sheet 4, which we are also streaming on the YouTube channel. We had a blank in the first from Brooke Godsland and a big score of 3 in the second. So Brooke will lead here now in the third. And there's some great action going on over there as well. So check out the stream. Got lovely commentators on that sheet as well. So it's 2 good games here today. And looks like a really nice draw here being made by Team Symonds. Still leaves a touch open, but
that's a good shot, though.
Pretty nice, especially considering the straight ice, that's for sure.
Well, you might see Symonds now. He's still got control of the game up on with the hammer. Third end, he's going to try to push for a deuce. At the very least, he wants to make sure he scores 1.
Absolutely.
As long as he keeps scoring 1 at some point, your opposition has to come back to the table and try to put a deuce on the board.
The maths, Mark.
You know, well, not enough teams look at scoreboard. Now, it's not so much now in the first part of the game, but once you get past the midway point, it becomes important. Because both teams will want the hammer. In a tight game, both teams will want the hammer coming home. So you got to try to jockey positions to make sure that happens.
Looks like a nice draw there from lead Aaron Feltham of Team Lello. Not quite frozen to that yellow, but still a really, really nice shot there, and definitely what they were looking for.
Yep.
Looks like another draw here from Team Symonds. I'd be expecting an angle freeze here on the top blue, but I didn't quite catch the call.
Well, I think that's what he would be playing.
That's what I would expect, especially from teams at this level. Should be pretty consistent. And we've got Hart on the sweep here now to hold the line.
Looks like he's going to get by the guard, but I don't know if I think he's just short of the rings.
Yeah, he does get by, but does leave that overlap center there, which is not ideal.
Well, it's not bad. You're shot rock and you got staggered guards on it. Well, it's not the end of the world.
Could be worse, that's for sure. Team DeLello electing to take the right-hand side of the sheet to draw around the whole works of it.
Well, I don't know if that draw. There's a little bit more room here on the outturn side. But now they're taking more ice on this turn than they would on the other side.
Sweeper's right off all the way up the sheet here.
He would have had to flare that a bit. And as we say, we have that baseball analogy. Just a little outside.
Just a little bit, Mark. The weight
was pretty good.
Absolutely.
He's probably 3/4 open.
Yeah, I got
maybe
pretty
a hair
much.
more.
I got pretty much edge on edge here, Mark. I'm right behind the center line here, and it's pretty close. But the rock did try and curl at the end there.
I think Symonds would. I think they're like the hit and roll to the edge of the 8-foot here. I think would be ideal, even though there probably is a small bit of room to be tight by the guards to get a little and roll underneath. But the only problem with that, if you make that perfect and then they come down and sit on top of it, your two-ender is gone.
Absolutely, Mark. I am quite partial to the roll away here for that reason.
Well, I think it opens up the scoring area for you, but this is going to be close. Oh.
Very close.
Crash.
Just caught on that guard there.
Now you're going to see a guard being played here.
There it is. And taking the same side, and looks to be about the same amount of ice here as well, so hopefully ends up in the same line there for Team DeLello. Second Daniel Bruce throwing this stone here. You know, you mentioned it earlier, but Ryan and Daniel and Aaron have been playing together for a few seasons now.
Well, Ryan and Daniel just lost the junior final in Langley back in 2020.
Yes, they did. Silver medalists.
And they were full value all week. They played extremely well. They're very, very good young players.
That's for sure. And to add on to that, Mark, they also have the 2019 U Sport silver medal. So that was quite the finish at the U Sport as well.
Well, I think young Lambswood, he's not young now, he's 24, 25. I think he got 5 or 6 juniors. What have we got on the bio on him there, Emily?
I have 5 Canadian juniors.
Five juniors. There's not many people in Canada that have 5 juniors.
Absolutely not.
And I don't even think they were consecutive. I think there was a gap in between 1 or 2 of them.
I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. But looks like we're coming back to an unfortunate miss there from Team Symonds. Just chips that blue underneath and rolls to back 12. That's definitely not what they wanted.
No, that's an advantage right back to Lello.
Games this close are usually all about taking opportunities. If you don't take them, you're missing out on a lot of points. So this is definitely an opportunity for Team DeLello here to get something going.
Well, Emily, you would remember from all the times I coached you guys in junior ladies, when the other teams miss, that's when you got to make the very next shot.
Absolutely.
Take advantage. If you don't, you're just giving an advantage that you had away, and you might only get so many opportunities in a game of curling.
Exactly. Got to take them when they show themselves, that's for sure.
There's only going to get opportunities at a lower level, but as you move up the ladder, especially in Canada where there's so many good teams, you only get so many chances. They're scrubbing harder. They need to at least get it by the guard. But he's all over that guard here.
Yeah, I've got a little light on this one here, Mark.
Yeah. He's having trouble feeling the draw weight today. And like I said, he's such a good player.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's almost odd to see some of these teams when they struggle with draw weight because they're just that good. But you know, there are days when you struggle a bit to find it. But hopefully they'll figure it out sooner rather than later. Team Symonds definitely looking to get rid of something up front here because this is really not helping him. Looks like he's opted him for the double peel off center. Might be a little bit of discussion here about where they want to hit.
Well, they got to try to. They can't. They got to open it up somehow to try to get some action. And just making the double peel and leaving the shooter there, they got to.
That might not be good enough.
They got to wiggle something around here.
Looking at maybe.
Right now, they got no draw on either turn. So they got, at the very least, they got to get an access point to get into the 4-foot to score one on a last rock draw.
For sure. Your skip needs a shot.
And ideally, the way to get in there is you got to open up, from our vantage point, the right-hand side of the sheet.
Working hard on the scrub here. It does make the double peel, but leaves the shooter around center. And if you caught it, a really nice save there from Ty DeLello. Rock going on the other sheet there.
Looked like a goalie save.
That was quite nice. Very graceful.
Maybe that's called the Manitoba slide.
Yeah, that was quite nice there. And right back to skipping duties. We've got a call for the guard here just to block that hole. Second rock from Ryan McNeil-Lambs with this end for Team DeLello.
Yeah, they're just looking to replace the guard here. If they can get it either just in front of that yellow and overlap it slightly, or just behind and overlap it, would be ideal.
It's looking real nice, Mark.
The Symonds can't run anything through.
It's looking real nice here.
Don't want to break off it. Oh, so close to perfect.
Yeah, just gets that little tiny rub off.
You might see Symonds now try to run that down to try to open it up somehow. I still think he needs to open up something to try to give himself a shot.
I agree, Mark. He's looking at the run, but if he's playing it, it's got to open up something.
Well, the top blue and yellow might be close enough. You might get a small amount of drag. So if you hit that one that Lambs would just threw down there, it's possible you might be able to get that rock out of the 4-foot. Even if you jam it on the back yellow one, it's only in the 12 back 8-foot.
Exactly.
So the problem right now is they can't get to the pin to score.
Yeah, and the scoring area, of course, with that rock back 4 is very small right now. So, like you said, even moving that blue out of the 4-foot into the 8-foot somewhere would be considered a small success here, if not a larger success. Just really trying to open up the scoring area and clear up the front somehow. Like we said, Skip needs a last shot. So, big rock here from Trent Skanes to try and open this up for Skipper.
Well, they're going to try to open up the whole side here. Now, you might be able to get 3 of those guards out. And yellow might come off, the middle yellow might come off the back of that other blue one on the left-hand side and come down into the house. I'm going to be close here.
Got a call for line here.
That's a good shot.
Does make the double peel and rolls in. Does he stick around? He does. Back 12, but still another rock in the house.
But it opened up, they got a guard. They got to play a guard in the middle one. But now, at least now there's Symonds got something to work with.
Looks like we're playing the double.
Looks to me like they're trying to hit the back one.
Yeah, I agree, Mark.
Lie 1, 3, and 4. Well, I guess he wants to guard against a big end. It's only a 1-point game. I'm not 100% sure I would do this.
I think the guard would be my first call as well, Mark. But
the guard would be my first call.
I'm not totally against the double. I get the train of thought here, but I think the guard might be a little more beneficial for this rock at least.
Well, it looks to us that the top blue one outcounts the back yellow. He threw this pretty hard here. I don't know if he's going to hang on. No, he
does stick around there. So, Ty DeLello currently sitting 1, 3, and 4. Symonds trying to find a way to give himself a chance for hopefully 2 here. But like we
Symonds
said,
got 2 shots. He can go after the top blue, slash it on the yellow, bring it back. You could kill all 4 rocks and roll out, potentially.
that could be quite nice.
Or you could kill the 3 blues and have 1 yellow in the rings. Or you could try to come down with backline or hack weight and just ship that and roll over and lie 1-2.
Looks like they might be partial to
he's
getting
gonna
rid of all of
try to
them.
slash it across that yellow. Have the yellow one go back on the blue in the 4-foot. Depending on the angle you get, you may get the one back in the 12-foot at the same time.
Absolutely. This is what I really like about
But
Team
even
Symonds.
if you don't make this and you just killed the blue and the yellow and you roll out, they put a guard on it. And it's behind the tee line. You can just draw down for your 1. Worst case, if you're in the 8-foot anywhere, you're only going to give up 1 max. So you're still tied with the hammer. So you got to sort of factor that into your train of thought at the same time.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of leeway here.
But if he makes this even half close to what he wants, he'll get rid of the rock or at least get it out of the 4-foot.
For sure, Mark. I got a little set here on this rock.
I think he's going to hit it almost too thin.
Just misses that back blue there.
Just a little too thin. But still, it opens up the whole front.
Absolutely. He'll definitely have a last rock here, that's for sure.
Lello got to decide, does he guard and force the draw to 1? Does he hit the lie 3 and give what would normally be a pretty straightforward come down and take 1? So at the start of this end, you look at it from a point of view that what was the goal in this end? If you're Lello, would be to force the other guy to take 1. Get the hammer back. It's only the 4th end. You're down 2. You got the hammer and try to take your 1. If you put a guard here and you're not 100% in front of it, you're going to give Symonds some kind of chance to put 2 more on the board. Now you're down 3.
Absolutely.
You're better off being down 2 and have the hammer back than down 3.
For sure. I like the hit here, Mark. I think this is a smart call from Ty Lello. Really just trying to minimize how many points Symonds can score this end. And beauty.
He wanted to pick it clean because he never wanted Symonds to have a blank.
That's a really nice rock there.
Oh, Symonds just going to come down here now, tap it back, take 1. I don't think he's going to draw. He's probably going to make some kind of lightweight hit. If he wants to be aggressive, he could play the hit and try to double him out, but I think you're safer just taking your 1.
He is looking at it.
Later in the game, if you're trying to keep control of the hammer coming home, you're trying to sort your ends out, yeah, it might be a consideration. In the 3rd end, I don't think you should consider it. I think take your 1 and go up 2 and try to hold the other team next end 1.
Yeah, I would just be playing a lightweight tap on that blue, stick around and get my 1, but looks like Symonds might be taking on the double here for the blank. That's what I like about this team, though, Mark, is that they're very big on the angles, and they seem to know them quite well. Obviously, had a thin miss on that last rock there, trying to get all those rocks moving, but still did the job for them. But I've seen a lot of those really nice rocks for them this week. Big weight, lots of angles, and does look like he's just taking his 1 here, which is quite smart. So.
Yeah, I think that was the best play here.
Absolutely.
1 for Andrew Symonds to go up 3-1 after 3, folks.
We'll be back in just a moment. All right, folks, we're back in the fourth end of the 2025 NL Tankard possible final. We have Team DeLello versus Team Symonds. Symonds currently leading 3-1, and Team DeLello does have the double life here. Saw a top 8 call from Team Symonds, or a draw in the house, which ended top 8, and we now have the corner guard call from DeLello. Looks like two really nice rocks coming down here now. Yeah, really nice corner there from lead Aaron Feltham. And it looks like Andrew Symonds is opting to put a center in front of that guard top, or in front of that rock top 8. Just trying to clog up the center here. Lead Keith Jew, we're throwing this stone here. It's looking pretty good. We are playing, as I mentioned earlier, the no-tick rule this week, so rocks on center can't be ticked until after 5th rock. Now seeing the freeze call from Team DeLello, trying to just sit on top of that yellow top 8. I'd like to quickly mention some sponsors. I have a list of sponsors for Team Symonds, which were recently displayed on the screen as well. But we have Northbrook Constructions, Parties, Bannerman Brewing Company, Ocean Management and Trading Company, Convergence Law, Browning Harvey Limited, and Hardline Curling. So big thanks to all the sponsors for all the teams this week. Your support means a lot and allows us to play at this level. It is greatly appreciated. A really nice rock there from Team DeLello. And it looks like Symonds is going to follow him right down. Second, Stephen Trickett with this stone. Just a heavy clean to start here on the sweep. Little for line. It's looking pretty good. I'll call him for curl here. Looks like this rock might have got a little straighter there. Still a nice shot there, and moves that back yellow slightly. And just unlocking those rocks, which gives Symonds the opportunity to possibly tap that that yellow that they just threw a little later on and unlock that blue a little more. Maybe push it to the back of the house.
Yeah, just trying to change the angles a little bit here, Emily, that's all. He's going to be looking for 2 points this end, tied up at the after 4. But
absolutely. Trying to figure out the best place to put this rock right now.
Right now, the angles are not in his favor, so you got to do something to change it. I think in tapping the one on the yellow, push the blue back a bit, but you got to keep your shooter in front. You can't roll off it. If you can actually get on the inside of it,
that would be ideal.
Would be ideal.
Absolutely. Yeah, try and get to the inside. Maybe get a little tiny flop and leave yourself half open. And just move those rocks around a little bit and try and switch up the angles.
Starting a curl here now.
Yeah, big brush here.
Want to be close.
Really working to get it by.
Might have been just
shy
and weight a couple of pounds.
I agree, Mark. Just a hair light there.
I don't know. Even if he gets by, I don't think he'll be going to push the blue one very far. An inch maybe or 2. That's about it.
I agree. Just a little down on that one, I do believe.
But now Symonds can hit that blue one. He can kill both blues, potentially. Or he might just play the hit and roll in. Because that blue that's behind the yellow can be taken out anytime later in the end.
I think I do like the hit and roll here, Mark. Just roll behind the center there, give yourself a little more cover.
Was he playing the hit and roll? I missed the call, Emily.
I do believe he is. That's the last I saw. That leaves the yellow-blue frozen, accessible for a later shot. Really working for curl here now.
That's a good shot.
That's beauty. Just sits in front of that yellow-blue frozen combo, which is really, really nice because that gives them the option to play that short run a little later. Team Lello opting to freeze the shot yellow here. And a quick update on the women's game. Currently in the fourth end, but the score is now 3-2 for Team Gosland after 3. Like I said, fourth end action on the go here on Seconds Rocks. So you can head over to the Sheet 4 stream.
Hard sweep here.
Very hard, that's for sure.
Just gets by the guard.
That's a really nice rock. Does only move the yellow to T-line, but still gives them future rocks and puts that yellow in a spot that might get jam if Symonds ever tries to play on those two yellows.
Well, I think if you hit on the top yellow, I think you can get that blue to go back because of the angle on the one on the 1 foot.
Fully agree.
So Symonds got to be careful here also. He doesn't want to give up the deuce. He's happy to force Lello to get one.
A little bit of discussion here, but I think the final call is just a appeal here. Might see a run, but I didn't quite catch the call.
I think he's playing a run back here.
And that's a sweep for line right off the bat here, Mark. Steven Trickett on the berm. And
Wow.
that's a beauty.
How's that for a shot?
Trent Skanes, everyone. That's a key shot here, Mark.
I'm sure his dad's watching this live stream saying, "That's my boy."
Absolutely. Yeah, that was really nice rock there from third Trent Skanes for Team Symonds. Lose those two blue.
No, the angles weren't bad for him, but they're a hell of a lot better now.
Absolutely. Skip Ty DeLello calling third Ryan McNeil Lambswood down to the house. Try and figure out what they want to do here. If only we had mics on the ice, Mark. If only we could hear what they were saying.
Well, you got to try to put yourself out there, Emily. That's how you figure it.
There you go.
But anyway, I see some kind of run back here.
Definitely
Now,
got to run something in.
I don't like what Ryan Lambswood is looking at. If you don't make this, you're not going to have anything.
Yeah, I fully agree, Mark.
I think you got to hit something in the middle.
I agree. I think you leave this corner blue here for Hail Mary on the last if you need it.
I think the short yellow, center line yellow, you got a couple of different angles, but if you don't make this, you don't get anything.
I fully agree.
Now you got to make sure you at least hit it on the broom side, on the high side, and get it going in towards. You got 4 rocks you can hit it into, any of which would be okay. So
Calling for curl here, so at least hitting the high side.
no, doesn't change a lot. Well, it might change a little bit if it hangs on for third shot, but
Looks like it does hang on for third here, Mark, but unfortunately not what they were looking for.
I think if I'm Symonds, I'm looking at. I'd like tapping up your own yellow. I don't even think you need to hit that one there.
Now, Mark, only reason why I can see Andrew calling the hit and roll here is just to get rid of the in-off. I think that's what he's most worried about, but at the same time, that's only for one.
Well, I think right now there's a situation where Symonds can put a steal on the board. And to do that, you got to play that top yellow one. Tap it into the 4 foot. Well, actually, probably only tap it into the 8 foot. The situation doesn't change much for the other team, and he probably wouldn't play the in-off yet. And then you might be able to get that later. If he makes it now, it's fine.
Really sweeping for
But
straight
you
here,
don't want to
playing
leave
inside
this
out.
And Trent Skeins is on fire this end, folks.
Yep, that's pretty good.
2 pistols.
Called it, made it.
Lello's, they're going to have to make some kind of run back here and get some good action down to the house. The Lambs is going to have to throw a heater here and try to get some stuff moving.
He can definitely throw the weight.
Think about it, if you just double off the one on the 8-foot, Symonds comes around again and you're no farther ahead and you're just running rocks straight back and none of them are yours. They're all Symonds' rocks. So that's the problem we got.
Mark, I'm almost seeing a nose run on that yellow guard. Straight back. Might get enough action with enough weight. But
just got to get by the top one. That's a pretty good shot.
That is pretty good. Definitely gets rid of some yellows, which is what they were looking for. Still a lot of work to do, but it's better than it was.
They're still not out of trouble here by any stretch. If Symonds he's looking at playing this hit and roll. If he hits and rolls back underneath again, you don't want to hit and roll a foot.
You got to hit and roll buried here, hey?
Well, if you hit and roll buried, they're going to have to go up and play the run back on the top one. Because you can't get around anything. It's going to be wide open because the yellow rock is on top of the 1 foot.
Yeah.
So
it looks like Andrew Symonds elected to play the hit and roll.
Here, if he's not going to roll behind the center guard, just hit and stay right there. It's fine.
Yeah, nose is great as well. I didn't see a weight call here. I'm assuming probably board here. Maybe control if he's feeling like he wants a little more, but resetting down in the hack. And we're off. This is rock 1 for Andrew Symonds in the 4th end. Really working this one. Try and hold the line.
Like he could be a little tight. Oh, there, look. Want to be close. Good shot.
That's pretty nice there, Mark. Really nice rock there from Andrew Symonds.
They've had a really strong end here.
They
a
have.
lot of rolls. Terrence Gaines made a pistol run back double on his first rock this end, which really set up how this end is probably going to play out.
Absolutely. That was definitely a key shot looking back at this game.
Even if he makes his run back, he's probably going to end up having to draw the pin for 1. So right now there's a major steal opportunity for Symonds here in this end.
And a steal in the 4th could be huge. Already up by 2. We'll see if Skip Lello can pull some Trent Skeins magic here with this run.
Well, I think if you make the run back double, your shooter's going to stay pretty close around that center line again.
Taking the extra second before throwing. And we're off. Really close.
Okay.
And he gets 2 and does roll off center, leaving the 2 yellows open. But does leave Andrew Symonds a chance to put up a guard in front of those.
Well, Symonds doesn't need to get greedy.
Absolutely
He's up
not.
2. A steal of 1 here in the 4th end gives him a 3-point lead. So if the game was tied, I think you come in and play the tap on your own to the 4 foot and let the other guy worry about making a triple.
For sure, Mark.
But when you're already up 2, you don't need to get cute. A steal of 1 here is massive.
I recently was told a really nice little saying. Make them make shots. So Symonds here is electing to play the guard, which is a relatively easy shot in this grand scheme of things. And that's leaving Team DeLello with either some crazy run or the draw to the button.
He's going to, regard here, he's going to draw. He's not going to play a run back
There you
against
go.
2. He's going to try to draw on the in turn, and he's got to put, the boy's got to lay it on the tee line and the pin.
Considering the score, absolutely. That in itself is a really tough shot.
This
So,
needs to curl a bit to take away that double. He only hasn't taken it away yet. Here it comes.
Really looking for curl here.
But he's fine.
And there it is.
Draw for 1. Oh, he's going to play the
We're
the
looking at the
back.
run mark.
You got to play the run back triple. I don't agree with that shot. I think you draw for 1.
If he makes it for the blank, if it's there,
Well, this is a game shot here.
it's understandable, but
This is a game shot. It's only the 4th end, and you can draw for 1. And there's a chance you're going to make it. He just drew for 1 a couple ends ago.
yeah, I definitely would be playing the draw here, Mark. I see the thought process, but again, you really need the score here.
Now,
And,
I know he likes to hit, but again, you need to make a triple.
and if this is ever not made,
And
that's dangerous.
And you could stuff 2 of them. It could be a steal of 2. It could be a steal
Absolutely.
of 1. If he makes it, it'd be a great blank. But you got the other guy in trouble when he's playing a triple for the blank.
Yep, that's pretty tough. We do have a little wide on release here.
And he looks like it's going to be a little wide here. Steal of 1 for Andrew Symonds in the 4th end.
That it
To
is.
take a 4-1 lead after 4. We'll take a short station break, folks. We'll be back in about 60 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes or whatever, and we'll see you then.
All right, folks, we're back for 5th end action of the 2025 Tankard possible final. We have Team Symonds up actually 4-1 on Team DeLello with a steal in the 4th. I will update that momentarily. But we've got a pretty classic setup here. We've got a draw from Team Symonds, corner from Team DeLello, and then a center guard by Team Symonds here again. So it looks like we're opting for a draw around here from Team DeLello.
Yeah, well, Team Lello they have to start pushing the envelope now. Down 3, playing 5, and for them to come back, it's probably going to go right down to the last rock or even an extra end.
Definitely a long ways to go here yet.
Long ways from being done, but they have to outscore the opposition by 4 with only 6 ends. It's a tall thing to do. Very tough. Not saying it can't be done. There was a game this week in the BC men's provincials. Brent Pierce was down 10-3 and won the game 14-11.
Well, folks, there you have it.
So
it's not impossible.
Not impossible.
Just very tough. Yeah, definitely going to be looking for a lot of good rocks here from Team Lello to make this comeback. But like we said, not impossible. So there's still lots to come.
Going to get around on top of this one here. Line looks pretty good. Got a freeze to it. Don't want to bounce off. That's a good throw by
That's a nice rock.
By Stephen Trickett. Stephen's been around a while, former junior champ and Super League winner. Played in the Brier last year with Team Symonds.
And we also have the university championships as well.
His sister's been to several Scotties and a former junior winner. She plays with Stacey Curtis, and his father's a long-time player and coach, Eugene Trickett. A bit of a family affair there on the Trickett side. Anyway, big shot here now for Team Lello. Nice see if he can get inside of this. That's a pretty nice shot.
Not quite, but does make nose, which is pretty good here, Marks. That's a nice shot there from Daniel Bruce.
Well, if you're Symonds, you don't want to have too many blue rocks lying around. You can live with giving up a 2-ender here, and then you're up one with the hammer, playing 6. You don't want to get caught giving up a 3-spot going into the break. So he might just try to smash this out or just try to rearrange the angles a little bit, one or the other. The thing, if you smash it, you're probably going to lose. You could lose all 3 of them and then roll away, which just gives your opposition a chance to come around again.
Really having a nice discussion about this one. I think they might be just trying to pick the top one, Mark.
Well, if you can pick the top one, fine. But if you're Symonds, I got no problem just trying to get rid of 3 of them. Because the yellow one's even behind the tee line a bit, so you're just giving something to the other team to work with. If they're all gone, even with a good draw, you're going to be partly exposed, which means Team Symonds can still get it out.
And you know what, Mark? I think the call was actually the triple, but just got a little tight there and crashes on the guard.
Well, from my point of view, I don't think that is the end of the world.
Absolutely not.
Because now, if you're running back, you're hitting a rock that's in full 12 or top of the 8-foot. You only got to run it back 3 feet. I don't see Lello putting a guard up here. I think it's a little bit late in the end for that now.
Yeah, I don't think he can afford to.
I got no trouble coming around the corner guard. I mean, there's several options there. You could put a guard back on it, but if you don't place it right, you're not getting any benefit from it. I like coming around the corner guard, which I think is what he's going to play.
I agree, Mark. I think having a one around the corner just gives you that little extra chance of scoring a deuce here.
Well, that puts but you got to make sure your 4th shot. You want to make sure you outscore that top yellow one. So you got to get at least a piece of the 8-foot. But I think you can, where that guard is, you can get a piece of the 8-foot and still be undercover. Now Daniel Bruce he's been up and down with his draw weight a little bit this game. Well,
this one's looking a little light here, Mark. I think.
Yeah, he hasn't been finding the way he's been close on a lot of shots, but just not pulling the trigger right where he needs to be.
No, not this level. That
can cost you. He's a really nice player. Makes a boatload of shots.
Absolutely.
And he got a fair bit of experience for a 25 or 26-year-old. And Nice player to boot. And his dad's also a former provincial seniors winner.
Really?
So again,
That's one thing I did not know.
there you go.
Yeah, Daniel's a good thrower. Just unfortunately struggling with the weight a little bit today, but
And
hopefully
his
that
older
resolves
brother was a
itself.
curler, but he's a much better golfer. Big shot here. That's a good shot by Trent.
Is quite nice.
Unlocked it all. Pushed the top blue one out in the open.
And sits for shot 2 and 3. It's pretty good.
Yeah, he's had through 5 ends. He's had a very strong game so far. He's made some big shots for Team Symonds.
Absolutely. I'd like to see the stats.
And well, big time players come to play in big games.
They do. That's how it goes.
For the teams that are successful in Canada, you got to embrace the bright lights, as they say. If that's not what you want, you take up another sport.
All right, rock coming down from third, Ryan McNeil-Lambswood for Team Lello. Looks like we got the guys on it for curl here.
He can't roll out. He just wants to roll behind the corner. The thing there, he had to keep your shooter.
Yeah, unfortunately, shooter just rolls out, and that yellow does just stick around as a biter.
Well, I never liked the call. I like coming around the corner that Daniel Bruce threw, or even tap it up.
I agree, Mark.
You're down 3. You need down 3. You need to push the envelope a bit more, and
only way to score here, Mark, is rocks in play.
Well, right now we're coming down. If they score 2 here now, it's going to be a skip's deuce, pretty much, because Lambswood got 1 rock left at third, but he's going to have to make a good shot to try to set his skipper up for a crack at 2 here.
That's for sure.
Symonds might. I think they should have kept on that a little bit more. They could have got a nicer roll, but that opens up the door now for Lello a little bit. You can play a come around or a tap, either one. I think they indicated to come around with that ice. But we need to see a good rock here if they want to get 2 back in this end.
Absolutely. This is a clutch shot here.
Well, a couple of miscues here, Emily, but both teams to let the other guy off the hook.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think this is one of the, I guess, weaker ends we've seen from this game so far. But, have a miss for a miss. And this is a clutch shot here for Team Lello.
Again, Lambswood here is a really nice player, a really nice thrower of the rock from a technical point of view. Has nice touch. But again, you're getting by the guard here by 2 feet, and it's probably going to be all open, and then some.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed, Mark, playing this week as well is that the Rocks really like the center line. They're almost best friends with it, if you would.
Well, if the ice is that straight, why don't they go up and play the tap on a rock that's a foot in front of the rings?
I fully agree.
You got to get under cover. If it's that hard, the tap becomes an easier shot.
For sure.
It might not be an easier shot, but you got a better chance if you make it of getting your outcome that you want.
Absolutely.
Which is the 2-ender.
Yeah, and unfortunately the draw here just isn't curling like they want it to, so that tap probably would have been the better call here.
Well, the thing about it, with that biter on the opposite side, looks like that yellow is a biter. The blank is probably not going to be on. So either you're going to be forced to 1 at a minimum, which puts you down to without the hammer playing 6. So Lello wants to get 2 here. He needs 2 points.
Yeah, he almost needs 2 here. That would be big.
Now again, Symonds looks like he hung this one out when he let it go. This has to curl a lot.
Sweeping for curl all day, that's for sure. It looks like he has a piece.
Now we'll see if they play the tap up here now. Like that, to get around that corner is awful tough.
It does look like he's playing the draw here again, though, Mark.
They're going to play it again. Okay.
I would like to see the tap played here. I don't know if this draw is even there to be fully buried. If it is, it's paper thin by that guard. So another clutch shot here for Team DeLello after a half miss here from Andrew Symonds. And looks like they might be considering the tap. But I don't think Ryan likes it.
Well, they tighten up this. They must be playing the tap here now, are they?
I don't think so, Mark. I saw a shake of the head from
If
Ryan.
you're only taking 2 feet of ice to make a come around, probably got a better chance of being buried by playing the tap.
I fully agree. And you also have that other corner guard as well. So even if you tap it high side, if you will,
Now it's possible
still under cover.
It's possible that blue guard could be close enough to be splittable. And when I say by splittable, knock both of them on, the shooter and the one you're hitting. We'll see now if he gets by here and gets under cover.
It's looking really close here, Mark. I like the line. I really like the line,
Well,
Mark.
that really came out. It's a nice draw.
That's a beauty. What a throw.
Emily, what do we know back here?
I don't know, Mark. I don't think we know much, to be honest.
Probably not.
Now, they did paper that guard. They did paper that guard. But, you know, maybe we don't know anything, Mark. That's a really nice rock there from Ty DeLello. Definitely a clutch draw for this game. And definitely making Symonds' job as hard as possible here. Thinking about playing the run, and it looks like that's the
Well, you can't get it out.
that's
So
the option.
if you don't make the run, if you stick it or don't make the double,
There's your two. Skips
here's your
deuce.
2. Again, it's going to end up being, if he gets 2, it's a skips deuce.
Absolutely.
Because that's a nice come around. But he went by, had a couple of inches, and that in the last 3-4 feet, that curled 15 inches.
Absolutely. That definitely had nice finish.
That kind of movement there.
I agree, Mark. I did not expect that.
Big shot here to save the 2-ender.
Really hard sweep here from Stephen Trickett.
And a nice shot.
And he's got it.
Nice shot there by Team Symonds. Now they got to try to get the blank.
There
Retain
goes
the
the
hammer.
hope of a deuce. So the blanket is here, Mark. Trying to get that yellow stone, just biting the 12-foot and roll out and hopefully get a better setup with hammer next end. And now, Mark, I know we're at the NL Tankard, but I hear there's a very important game going on in Saskatchewan right now for you.
My son's girlfriend is in the plays in Saskatchewan this year with her team, Ashley Thebno, and if they win their last round robin game, they're in through the playoffs, into the Page playoffs. So that's a big thing. They're up 2 after 8. So we'll see what happens. I'm keeping an eye on the scoreboard out there.
That's good news in Saskatchewan, and also good news here for Team DeLello.
Well, they got
Does
the blank.
get the blank.
Anyway, we'll take a short station break for a couple of minutes, and we'll be right back.
And we've got 5th M break here now, so players running to grab a few snacks. And myself and Mark are going to take a short break here as well. And we'll be back with you guys shortly for the second half of the 2025 NL Tankard possible men's final. Current score of 4-1 after a blank in the 5th. And we'll be back with you guys shortly. All right, folks, we are back for six-end action in the 2025 NL Tankard. We have Team Lello versus Team Symonds playing for a spot at the Briar here. If we get a loss from Team Symonds, then Team Lello is outright winner. But if Team Symonds pulls off the win here, we will go to a second game to determine our Briar representatives for 2025. Just getting started in the end here. Team Symonds had a nice draw, top 12 here, and a corner from Team Lello. And looks like we're getting a draw around from Team Symonds. Now up 4-1, so leading by 3. Definitely don't want to get too greedy here with Team Symonds, but I mean, the centers have been working for him so far, and don't fix something that's not broken. So I expect you'll see Team Symonds play a little bit more open, but for now the guard and the draw around is the call here. Looking real nice. And a beauty of a draw from lead Keith Jewer here from Team Symonds.
Well, Team Symonds, they've been playing well enough. They really haven't given many opportunities, if any, to Team Lello to get back into this game. So right now, that steal of 2 in the first end jumps off the scoreboard, and they have not relinquished control of this game since that happened. So I think right now, with 5 ends to go, Lello is going to have his hands completely full, and he has to put 2 on the board here.
Absolutely.
The longer the game goes, the harder it's going to get, because not only do you have to score 2, if Symonds just scores 1 when he has to hammer, they're going to have to get a couple of deuces and maybe a single or 2 to win this game.
Yeah, definitely a lot of dirty work to go here, Mark, for Team Lello.
Because what will happen right now, going into this game, the momentum was all with Lello. If this game goes in Symonds' favor, you're going to a sudden death final game, and the momentum now has shifted back to Team Symonds.
That's for sure. Did come up tight there on that draw around from Team Lello, so we have kind of a, I don't want to say staggered, but we do have a couple rocks top 12 and just in front of the house there, so Symonds is electing to throw another center here to protect his 2 in the house. Again, not getting too greedy and choosing to play the guard over the draw here, which is a smart call.
Now, the thing about it, and these teams will realize it, when you got a 10-end game and you got the 5th-end break, sometimes, even though it's the same team, different teams show up in the first and the second half.
Absolutely,
so
Mark.
I would give the first half to Team Symonds, but now they got to keep playing like it, and sometimes you come out after the break and the team that has been down comes out and they don't miss a shot.
100%.
So, you have it going, you have your little powwow and you talk to your coach and whatnot, and you regroup and reorganize, and you go out and you go hard. Or as a lot of teams on tour say hard, go hard or go home.
That's for sure. Looks like a nice draw here from draw weight here from Team Lello, but
starting to come over there now. But again, he cleared the guard by a foot.
Yeah, it still just needs to move.
That's the way the first 5 ends have gone for these guys, especially with young Bruce and Lambswood. They're just getting a guard by a little too much, or 6 inches heavy, foot light. Like, everything is close, but it's not right on where it has to be.
Yep, that is the first 5 ends there, Mark. Just a hair off. I'm really looking to hone in the second half.
This line looks pretty good here also. They're just trying to get down in top of that pocket and make it real tough. That line looks awful good.
Needs to curl a hair, but is on top of the blue, which is quite nice.
Well,
and that's a good rock
That rock
there.
is not going anywhere.
That's for sure. That's a really nice rock there from, I believe, second Stephen Trickett for Team Symonds. And again, Team Lello just left trying to play catch-up here. Throwing the runs to try and clear it up, but...
Well, they got to get the angles changed. Right now, the angles, the way they're set up, there's nothing good there working for Lello. Like, the scoring area is non-existent. And if you want to get 2, you got to expand your scoring area. So he got to move some granite here. He got to get this run back double, but he got to move something in the 4-foot to change the angles up.
Well, we got a heater here from Daniel Bruce. What can he move?
Well, that's better than it was.
A lot.
That's better than it was.
That is much better than it was, Mark. I think he'll be happy with that.
But now, again, that draw that throws into that pocket is still going to cause them a lot of grief. Because to get rid of it, you can only hit it on the intern side.
Exactly.
So they're still going to have to change the angles and get rid of it because, like I said, right now their scoring area is a foot.
Not the ideal situation.
Not when you're trying to put multiple points on the board.
No, that's for sure. Looks like Team Symonds is opting for a nose hit or a hit and roll here on the blue that's either biting 12 or just in front of the house, just to take away any sort of run or slash that Team Lello might have on that blue rock. And he makes it to stick relatively close to nose, which is exactly what he was looking for. So that's a nice rock there from 3rd Trent Skeins. And it's decision time here for Team Lello, trying to figure out what they want to do here to try and clear this up a bit. I got a call of normal weight there, tapped to the shoulder, which is typically a call for normal weight. I think just trying to slash that blue across and get rid of one of the yellows, just to try and open that up. But slashing towards the left-hand side of the sheet, which unfortunately still leaves the yellow rock top 4 in a position that they can't hit it out without losing their back blue. So I guess we'll see what happens here. Ryan McNeil-Lambs with throwing 3rd stones here.
Well, they need to shake this up a bit.
Now, I will say I like that release from Ryan. We're directly behind the sheet, of course, and that was really nice and clean from the looks of it. What has he got? He does open up the intern side, which is really good. Nice shot there from Ryan McNeil-Lambswood.
Well, they got a better chance of scoring now than they did earlier, but again,
still not ideal. Hey,
it's only probably going to be tough to score more than one. It's just not lined up the way you would want it lined up if you're trying to put a multiple score on the board.
That's for sure. Better than it was, but still not ideal.
They can straight card this if you're Symonds. If you come in and try to get cute, you might just give the other team a double coming back.
Absolutely.
So sometimes offense is the best defense. So if they, if you can get around that blue one and get partly underneath, it's not bad. But if you just guard, it's fine also.
I think I'd be inclined to play the guard here, Mark, considering the scoreboard. I don't need to get greedy.
I got no problem with the guard, but I like it to have it tight.
Absolutely.
Now this rock looks like it's starting to curl here. And this rock might over curl.
Yeah, we get a call right off from Symonds.
He looked like he threw it okay from my vantage point. I don't know if it's picked or anything, but the weight, if they could have swept that, the weight probably would have been pretty close to being close on that blue guard. But now I think they have to come in and try to chip this and roll.
I do like the chip there, Mark. Looks like a bit of discussion here, though. And here we got lead Aaron Feltham up in the house with Ty Lello, just talking about what we can do here.
I think if you just push it back, I think if you chip it out, you're going to roll over. They can just come down and hit. I'd like just tapping it back, unlock the freeze, leave you in front of it, and see what Symonds does. That said, you still got the one coming off the yellow rock on the opposite side of the rings on your last rock if you have to play it for a multiple score.
Absolutely.
So, and sometimes when you're down, you got to grab at those straws.
Absolutely. Well, Mark, I was coaching a little bit this weekend as well with my U18 girls team, and they had a game against Sarah Boland this morning, and it was one of those games where we just had to throw the last Hail Mary and hope that we made them.
This is going to be
this
close.
Looks
here
close.
Anyway. Looks like it could be.
This looks really nice.
Got to get it by the second one.
Sweeping really hard.
Oh.
And just nicks that top one.
They missed it on the sweeping call.
That's pretty unfortunate there, Mark.
And now Symonds can get rid of those 2 blues.
That is a really unfortunate miss there. Just didn't quite get on it early enough.
Symonds could play a guard on this because even that double off the one on the opposite side of the rings, it's tough to get that yellow rock out now because the 2 is in front of the 2 blues.
I do like the guard call here, Mark.
You could be aggressive here and come around and sit on your own, and they got nothing.
I really like that call there that Andrew Symonds just pointed to.
Stephen Trickett likes to double. I mean, look at the scoreboard. You play the double. If they freeze or tap it back, you can pick it out maybe or something along those lines, and he's only going to get 1.
But if you make that freeze, Mark, that's pretty good. I don't know. This is tough. There's a couple real good options here. I think we're opting for the draw here.
I like the call in this situation with the way they're lined up.
Absolutely. If anything, I think for this draw, those blues are just backing, and it's going to make it a lot harder for Team DeLello to get those yellow rocks out to try and score. So I really like this draw call here. All right, this could be a really big shot here for Andrew Symonds.
You don't want to be wide here, that's all, and give him a double. But all the curls from the hog line in here.
And it looks like the boys are on it for sweep, so I'd hope that being wide is not a problem.
Well, it's starting to bend here now. You got to get right to the top of it.
They're working it good here, Mark. Just got to move it a little farther.
Well, he's mostly guarded, if not almost 100% guarded. So
that's a really nice rock there.
Rock, yep.
That's really good.
Well, you're looking at that in-off double, but if you don't make it, you're going to put yourself in jail again, and Symonds caps it off, and you don't have a shot.
Absolutely, and this is only Ty DeLello's first rock, so if he doesn't make this, that could be pretty bad. Another concern as well, Mark, is that if you make that in off there, does that yellow go back into your own 2 blue?
Well, if you hit it on the bottom side of the rock, you might be able to squeeze 2 out of it, maybe.
Yeah.
It would be tough. You'd have to hit it just in the sweet spot.
Yeah, this looks like this is a risky shot here. If he can make it, good on him. Like we said, that's how the skips make the big bucks, but we'll see. Clutch shot here for Team DeLello. The 6th end. Skips first.
Big shot. If he doesn't make this, he might not have much to work with on his last one. Not laying a broom on it. Oh, here we go. Trying to bend it.
Got some sweep for curl, but I hear it's close, Mark. Really close.
Oh,
and he does make it to kick it out of the 4-foot.
Absolute pistol.
That's a beauty there, Mark. That's impressive.
And the lie, too.
Really nice rock there from Ty DeLello. Absolute clutch shot here in the 6th end. That's a game saver right there.
See, it's those kind of shots on me. That's why you pay to skip the big bucks.
Exactly, Mark. That's what we've been saying, and these skips have definitely proven their worth at last rocks.
A lot of teams would have played full hit weight at it.
Absolutely.
If you notice the weight that they threw.
First thing I noticed, Mark.
Back line, hack weight.
Absolutely.
Because you got to hit the back of the yellow rock, and if you want to stay in a 4-foot, You're just trying to move it sideways by a foot.
Absolutely. Yeah, really, really nice weight choice there from Team DeLello, and a really nice line call there as well. Just a really, really good overall team shot there. Lots of discussion up and down the ice that even we can hear up here, upstairs. That was pretty good. Doesn't get much better than that. And really making Team Symonds think here. Just trying to see if they can get all three.
I think if he throws the heater, it'd be, I mean, you might not get them all out of the rings. You're just going to get them out of the 4 foot.
Definitely a must-throw rock. Just trying to figure out the angles here, I think,
Well, the
Mark.
thing here, that I don't know that if the middle blue could clip the back, the black blue one, and move it over a couple of feet.
The black blue.
If not, the yellow one, the 2 blues behind it, they're staggered. So if he hits the yellow one to the outside blue, it could spin and come sideways and end up being shot that way.
You might see the gear effect in action here. We'll see. Boys calling really hard on this one.
A lot of screaming going on out here, folks.
I hear a bit of panic here. And he's got it to get 2 out, I think.
I think there's a shot for 2 here for...
Looks to be.
Come off the yellow one. So I think they got more spin than they thought. Remember, I indicated one was a little higher, and they were going to spin off, and they spun right across the 4 foot.
We just got a new view of the near house here. It's an overhead, so we can see the rocks a bit better. You can see now blue is sitting 1.
Big shot here for Ty Diallo. If he can make this and get a deuce out of it, it becomes a 1-point game with 4 ends to go, folks.
Absolutely. I know he said his last was a clutch shot, but so is this one.
And
so we'll see if he can make it
here. If
here.
he makes this, it would be a really nice skip, what you call a skip deuce.
Absolutely.
He made a pistol on his first one, and this is not an easy shot either.
Yeah, it would be great to see here, Mark.
You should know the ice has been a number of rocks down this path, and any kind of weight above backline, they tend to run. So you want to be able to engage your sweepers.
I got a heavy call from the sweepers right off the bat here, Mark.
It looks to me like it's going to have to curl a bit.
They're working it, Mark. Just doesn't curl enough there, so it will be 1 blue in the 6th end.
Bit of a wasted opportunity. They wanted, but they really needed a deuce here. So Symonds is going to take a 2-point lead with the hammer, playing 7.
All right, we'll be back in a minute, folks. All right, folks, we're back for seventh end action in our 2025 NL Tankard, Symonds versus Lello. Lello with the double life here, but Symonds with a lead, 2 up in the 7th with hammer. And we got a, again, pretty standard start to the end. We've got a center from Lello and a couple rocks in. This is how the house is looking. Team Lello opting to draw down to that yellow in the back 4. This is second Daniel Bruce throwing this stone here. And just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who made this week possible. Ice crew, volunteers, everyone involved. It's been a great week. The players have had a great time, and it's been an awesome week of curling. Sponsors, supporters, families of the players, coaches. It's been amazing, and we still have another bit of curling left to go, so we're glad you're tuning in with us. We have a draw top 8 there from Team Lello. Symonds just deciding what he wants to do here. Looks like we might be playing a hit and roll wide here. Second, Stephen Trickett.
Symonds is just going to try to keep this simplified now. They're up 2 with the hammer. 4 ends to go. As long as they score with last rock, score 1, the game is going to be theirs to lose.
Absolutely. This looks like a nice rock here.
Just want to stay out of trouble. And so you want to make sure, as your team, you want to make sure that you're giving Andrew, as a skip, a reasonable shot to make on his last rock.
Yeah, like you said, Mark, just trying to keep the game simple. Probably going to be trying to keep most of the blue rocks out of play while still taking opportunities to score a deuce here with hammer.
Yep, absolutely.
We've got another draw here from Team Lello. And it looks like Daniel Bruce might have tuned in his draw weight this end, Mark. That's a real nice rock there to sit on top of that yellow.
It was probably going to happen sooner or later.
Symonds calling for the peel here. Could possibly be looking for a run, but I think he'll be happy with just getting rid of that blue up front.
Yeah, first chance you get, I figured that Symonds would be taking that guard off.
Absolutely. That's pretty typical.
You're up 2 with the hammer.
And a smart decision.
You don't want anything up front.
No, that's for sure.
You rip it off and...
Yeah, straight peel there from second Stephen Trickett, Team Symonds. And I suspect we'll see Team Lello put that guard right back up, which is what we're seeing here.
Emily, do we know if there is another game, if Symonds hangs on in this current game now, when would the next game be?
I believe the next game would be tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I don't think they have a night draw tonight. Of course, if you're from around the club, you know that Saturdays are our social league, so I do believe that is still going ahead today. And so the second game, if it does come to that, will be played tomorrow morning. Not quite sure of the time. I would say probably 9 or 10, but yeah.
Okay, we got a long guard there by Ryan McNeil Lambswood. Again, where it's a long guard, I think you might see Symonds coming down, but you could rip the guard at the same time.
Yeah, Mark, I think either call is pretty good.
Now you're getting down to into the third rocks. You rip the guard, they put a guard back, you rip it again, and comes down on your skip last rock. You come to probably you'd like to come into the 8-foot. Symonds would probably play a hit. If you happen to jam it, the other team steals 1, maybe 2. So, I still think I'd be playing to take the guard off here, which is what they've decided in the end.
Yeah, I like this call too, Mark. I think playing it open is their best bet right now, and that's the way to do it.
Well, if you try to draw around and tap it back, you don't get the right angle. I think you're just making it harder on yourself to score 1.
Absolutely. As you would say, no need to get cute.
And all of a sudden then, Andrew Symonds is probably going to have a tougher shot than he would normally have if he just ripped the guard.
For sure. Like we've been saying, keeping it simple. It's been working so far for him, so don't fix something that's not broken. Team Lello trying to put back up this center guard. Just trying to get a little bit of finish here at the end, past the hog. But it looks a bit deep here. And does slip into the house here. Just biting 8 by the looks of it. Yeah, it looks like Symonds might be inclined to maybe get rid of all 3.
Well, that's not. You can get them all here now if you hit them right. So the way Trent Gaines has been playing this game, he's had a very strong game at third.
I think the odds here are looking pretty good considering what we've seen from Trent.
I don't think he can jam 2 of them. So as long as he runs back and gets 1 of them out of the way, it'll be fine. I
think we might just be getting straight
just going to get
here.
1 here. Okay. It's okay.
So it does play the hit and roll, which was also in consideration from Andrew Symonds. So that's not horrible.
In the situation that Lello has in front of him, I mean, down 2, he's going to have to push the envelope and force. You know, you can't play a long guard here. You can't play. I think you got to play the guard tight and hope you get a jam.
Absolutely.
Or a miscue by Team Symonds to lie a couple of rocks when Andrew goes to shoot his last one.
That's for sure. Yeah.
And, you know, if it doesn't work out, well, it doesn't work out, and they get to play another game. But, you know, you got to try to push the envelope.
Yeah, they definitely can't wait till the second game to fire on all cylinders.
Well, when you look back at the scoreboard, you had a feeling it was going to end up this way after the initial end with that steal of 2. They got caught in the very first end, and it's been a struggle for them to recover.
Absolutely, Mark.
They've had only a couple of chances to really put points on the board, and they haven't managed to be able to do it, and they've only scored a couple of singles. So not a recipe for success.
That's a pretty good guard there from Skip Lello. Got some discussion on the Symonds team here now. Just deciding what they want to do. I don't think you'll see them play the run again. Yeah, just freezing down.
If you're Ty Lello, you want Symonds to draw here.
You do.
Now, if he makes it, well, that's not what you want. But you want him to draw and hope it gives you an opening to get on top somewhere.
Sometimes, when you're missing rocks, you got to hope for a miss from the other team, and I think that's what Team Lello is looking at here.
For Symonds, he got to make sure he's shot rock. If he's not, if he comes up and he's short of the 1 foot or the top 4, whatever, there's going to be another guard going on it.
Absolutely.
If he's right down on it and he just rolls off, the pocket might still be there. You get on the pin because right now the rocks are on the back of the button. So,
yeah, in order to keep his lead and to have a shot on his last, this is a must-make for Andrew Symonds here. As we like to say, clutch shot. We're off.
This is a big draw for Symonds here.
Just seeing some cleaning here so far.
It's still got a lot of line. That's still got to curl a fair chunk here. Coming over the hog line here now. Line's getting a lot better there now. It's starting to come. But he has to be shot rock.
This is looking really nice, Mark. Just can't get the rub off here.
No.
And I think he's
got it. Not a bad shot. I think they're shot rock.
Well, we can have a quick look. I do have an above view, I do believe, of the far house. It's not the greatest, but it is something. And it does look to be shot yellow.
It does indeed.
If I were to place a bet here. Well,
I don't think there's a shot on the in turn. I don't think there's a shot on the out turn. I think the way the ice is, he'd have to pace the guard to get inside of it.
Absolutely.
To make it on the in turn to come down and freeze your own, you're just giving Andrew a little slight slash on his when he just threw to score. But they're going to play this in-off double. Now, if he happens to make it exactly like he wants and pushes the yellow over and sits right there, they're going to lie 2 completely buried.
You know, Mark, we saw Skip Lello make one of these a
And
little earlier in the game, and he for sure could make it again.
but he's going to have more weight than what he needed last time. But he's shown he's capable of these shots, and this is a big one here. It's about a 6-foot double, and for that distance, it's sort of flat, so he's going to have to throw pretty good. He's probably looking at hitting about what we would call a fat half, as opposed to a skinny half.
A thick half, Mark. Thick half.
If he hits a fat half here, I think is what he's going to need to make this double.
Oh, unfortunately, looks just a little over curl there.
Well, I don't think Symonds can. You got a couple of options here. He's already got one. I don't know why he would try to screw with that. And if you're trying to play on your own, if you touch the guard or you bounce off it the wrong way, play the draw for 2 on the in-turn. And if you make it, you get 2. If you only get 1, it's fine.
I agree, Mark. I like
you
this
get
call.
1, you're still up 3 with 3 ends to go.
This is definitely the safe call.
The odds
here.
are big time in your favor.
Gonna do a quick update for the women's game as well. We just finished 7th end. It's now 7-4 for Team Gosland over Team Vitor, with Team Vitor scoring 1 in the 6th and stealing 1 in the 7th to make the score 7-4. So good game going on over there as well on sheet 4. You can find the stream on our YouTube page. But back to a shot for 2 for Andrew Symonds. Very, very difficult draw here to the button. Trying to get a deuce here to lead 3. Sweepers think it's close.
The line looks fine, but I don't know. He looks to be a little bit strong here.
Yeah, just getting the rub off there. Or straight by.
Okay, so it's going to be 1 point for Symonds in the 7th end to take a 5-2 lead after 7. We'll be right back in a minute or so, folks, bringing you the 8th end action.
All right, folks, back with 8-end action here at the 2025 NL Tankard. We have Team Lello versus Team Symonds. Symonds currently leading 5-2 with Lello having the hammer in the 8th end. Really, just trying to score some points here for Team Lello. Really trying to just make back the steal of 2 in the first. That's really been the determiner for this game. Ever since then, Symonds has felt pretty comfortable with his lead ever since, and Team Lello just playing a little bit of catch-up here, but still a couple ends left, and just got update that if this game does in fact go in Symonds' favor, the pure final will be tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. So depending on the outcome of this game, you can stay tuned for that as well, but like I said, still a couple ends to go, lots of rocks left. And, we will see a rock from
Emily,
Daniel Bruce.
Emily, you are a wealth of information.
I'm really trying, Mark.
Oh, we just got that update about the time for tomorrow. We weren't sure on it, and I made some inquiries, and I just showed you the text. So, and that's only if a game is required. This game is not over yet by any stretch, albeit it is a 3-point deficit for Team Lello. And they're going to have their work cut out for them.
It looks like Symonds doing some deciding here on what he wants to do. We've got 2 of his yellow rocks in the house. Looking like he might be trying to come around that cluster guards up front.
Well, I say now you're going to, and Stephen Trickett's next rock, you're going to see a peel on the front.
I agree, Mark. Trying to keep it open, hey?
There's 4 rocks in front, and they don't want any. So they can try to get rid of some of them.
Yeah, it looks like just another guard coming up here.
I thought they might have played a hit on the peel, on a peel there, but they threw another guard, and it's putting a lot of pressure back on Lello to try to get in underneath here. Again, even if they make this, the scoring area now is down to the 4-foot circle again. So for a team trying to score multiple points, they haven't been able all game to expand that scoring area. Everything has been taking place in the middle of the sheet, which works in Symonds' favor if you're up, and he has been since the first end. So it's a bit of an uphill battle for one team trying to score points here.
Really sweeping this for line here. Unfortunately, just
Gray's
catches that guard.
Again, when things are not going well, Dave Gray's guards, I think they've had 5 this game where they've just had a misdirect like that.
Yeah, it's been a few, Mark, for
sure. Being a perfect shot and just over curl the hair or a little late on the sweeping call.
I think this call from Symonds is quite interesting. The indication of top 8 there. What do you think about that, Mark?
They probably think there's too many rocks to peel off. Now, if you peel off the ones in the middle, the yellow comes back on the other yellow. That could go right back onto that blue one, right back into the yellows in the 4-foot.
I agree.
So the angle here might not be there now. So right now, Symonds figure, well, we're up 3. Let's try to stick it to him again. And at the very least, Lello has to try to score at least 1 here.
Yeah, and right now it doesn't look like if Symonds draws in, he has much off of his own blue. And of course, that's not a problem rock for Symonds right now, so the draw is definitely the better call. But it is just coming up a hair light and tight by the looks of it. And just overlaps with that blue there.
Well, you might see Lello go try to make that run back. Blue, yellow, yellow, blue into the 2 yellows.
That's what it looks like we're getting here, Mark. I just want to...
It looks to me like it's pretty close.
I just want to note on the stream, the pure overhead camera is a little bit ahead, or actually more in time with what's happening in the game than the sort of angled view of the house. So you might see a little bit of overlap there, but the near house overhead is quite good to see the angles and shot rocks. So we will leave that there. But just to note that is more true to time with the game, whereas the angled camera has a bit of a few second lag there.
Big shot coming here, Emily.
It is. It's huge.
He got the weight.
This is huge.
Oh, angles weren't quite there. Right idea.
Does open it up, though.
It does open it up quite a bit, actually.
I think they'll be happy with that.
Well, it gives them some more options.
For sure.
Symonds really can't. I guess you could go after that blue one, but, I mean, big chance you're going to drive it on one of your own.
I like the guard here, Mark.
But if you're Lello, you got 2 blue rocks in the rings now. One behind the corner, one partly behind the center. So you have something going, albeit not perfect.
But it's something.
It's more that you had a couple of ends ago.
Absolutely.
And you got to take your chances, and there's still a few rocks to come in this end, so they might be able to switch the angles around. And even to get 2 here with 2 ends to go, tightens up the score quite a bit.
For sure. And just getting a guard here right in front of that blue from Team Symonds. Trent Scanes at third. I heard an indication for halfway there. Don't know if that was from Symonds or the sweepers, but either way, looking for what we would call a 2. It's looking pretty good as it comes in here. That's a nice guard there from Team Symonds.
And just a note, I'm just watching the ladies' final here. I think Brooke Gosselin, the 8th end here now, has a draw to the paint for 3. They go up 10-4. I think this could be this game's last rock.
I agree, Mark. I also was having a peek over there. Kind of missed the last few seconds of our guard on this sheet, but that women's final is definitely something. And
I know
Brooke's
for 2 of the girls, it would be their first time.
Absolutely.
Winning the ladies. Brooke and Sarah would be their first time, so if that happens, it's good for them.
And, of course, as Sarah's former teammate, best of luck to her out there, and also a great showing from Carrie Vittor as well this week. Looks like we've got a hit on this yellow here on our sheet. All right, folks, I think we've got an update on the women's sheet. We've got handshakes, and that is a win for Team Godsland. They are headed to the 2025 Scotties Tournament of Hearts, so big congratulations to Brooke Godsland, Erin Porter, Sarah McNeil-Lambswood, and Camille Burt. And very, very good showing from Team Vittor this week. And like Mark said, that's a first Scotties for Brooke and Sarah. And so that's pretty exciting for them. Definitely going down to give them a big congratulations after this. But me and Mark, we still got a job to do.
We still got a job to do.
So Andrew Symonds, last rocks here. Andrew Symonds first. Looks like we're putting that guard up again.
Yeah, I would think that's the play.
And you can still hear the big round of applause downstairs for the women's sheet. Lots of love around this club.
Well,
Rock's looking pretty nice here.
It looks to me like Diala's going to have to pull a couple of rabbits out of the hat here on his 2 shots.
I agree, Mark. That's a really nice guard there from Andrew Symonds.
I think if you hit everything you can see, you might be able to go yellow-blue and double the yellows out. It's possible. Or you got one off the side you can come in off. You might have a couple of options.
Definitely are a couple of options here, Mark. I think it's just a matter of which one is more makeable at this point.
Neither shot is easy, but whatever he plays, he's going to have to make it.
That's for sure. At this level, that's usually what it comes down to anyway.
Because if he doesn't make it, Symonds is going to throw it back again. And
got a good bit of discussion here from Team Lello.
I think that yell was just edge on edge. I think you'd have to hit every piece you could see.
Yeah, Mark looks like edge on edge, and looks like they're going for it.
No, I think what he's playing, he's going to play to come through the hole and roll behind the corner.
I like that.
And then now he only has to get rid of one yellow rock, and he got multiple runbacks he can play. So Symonds is probably going to have to try to get in the ring somewhere.
I do.
Stop a potential big end.
Yeah, I do quite like that call roll under the
And
corner.
Symonds can't take away all the runbacks. There's multiple ones he would have a shot at. So I do like this call.
Smart call there, yep, for sure.
If you're going to have to make a big shot, make it on the last one for multiples.
Well, rocks come down the sheet here, folks,
Wanna
from
be
Ty
close.
DeLello.
It's got to get by the long guard first.
Really calling for curl here, last going off. And now for straight. He's by,
Good shot.
and he's got it. That's a really nice shot there from Skip Ty DeLello. And he's had a good few of those today.
Now, for them to get a multiple score here, Symonds can throw a guard on the hole and give him an angle raise for 4, which he won't do. So he's going to play through the hole and try to make the double. If he hits the yellow guard, if he's tight and if he gets through, fine. He's going to be lying 1-2 or 1-3 or something along those lines. And at most, the yellow will have to run back for 2 tops. If he happens to hit the yellow guard, just to hear it, there's going to be a crack at 4. If he hits the blue guard on the opposite side of the hole, it could still be a run back for 4. So this is a big shot for Symonds.
Absolutely, Mark. Looks like he's throwing some weight at this one. I got calls on and off here.
That's a good shot. Very good shot.
And he's got it made. That's pretty good.
It looks to me like yellow is lying 2. That's a big shot, big game shot by Andrew Symonds.
Absolutely. I'd have to agree with that, Mark. I think
But now,
yellow is lying
Lello's
too.
they got to play a run back. They need 2 points. It's the 8th end. So it's, if you make it, and you keep the game going. And if you don't, you live to die another day.
That's for sure, Mark. Looking at I think the angle raise for a possible double.
But you got to get rid of both yellows.
You really do.
He needs 2. One is not going to win him the game here.
And it looks like this is the final call, Mark.
Well,
This is to keep the game going.
We'll see if the game goes. He got to get shot for 1. If he gets 1, they'll probably keep playing.
I agree.
If it was a steal of 1 or 2 here, steal of 2. I'm thinking it'll probably be handshake. Steal of 1, they may end up throwing them down in 9.
Big shot for Team DeLello. Ty DeLello throwing Skip's rocks. Angle raise double for 2. Can he make it?
He hasn't had an easy game in terms of what he's been facing.
Absolutely not. And for him to be throwing this well is very impressive in itself. Looks like it's close.
Angle raise, double angle raise for 1.
Does get the 1.
Oh, big shot. He's made some fabulous shots, but it's all he's had to throw at.
Absolutely, Mark.
The team hasn't really given him much help this game. So the game keeps going. It's not over yet. 5-3 after 8 for Andrew Symonds.
We'll be back in just a moment there for ninth end action. All right, folks, back at the 2025 NL Tankard. We are in the possible final here against Team DeLello and Team Symonds. Symonds currently leading 5-3 here in the ninth end, sorry.
Another good shot by Jewer, the lead for Team Symonds. He's had really good draw weight all game, and he's put a lot of pressure on his opposition.
He has, Mark. I've been really impressed.
Yeah.
I think sometimes leads go unnoticed, but they're very key to the game.
From looking at the game so far through 8 ends, it's still a 2-point deficit for Team Lello, but it's only that because of some of the great shots that Skip has made. He's made a couple of honeys and had to make them. That's a nice shot by Daniel.
That's lovely.
That's a nice shot by Daniel Bruce. Just trying to get something going in front, trying to get some stuff back, keep rocks in play. So Symonds' goal this end, just score 1.
Absolutely.
And you're 3 up going home. And again, obviously, if you're a Team Lello, you got to you can't let them score. Don't matter if they get 5 or 6, you need 1.
Absolutely.
And what you find sometimes, Emily, if you get in a position to steal 1 good rock, you could be in a position to steal 2 just as easy as you get 1.
Absolutely, Mark.
So
it only ever takes that extra rock, put in a good spot, and that steal of 1 can turn to 2, and that can be a game changer.
Well, I think the way they're lined up now, you can't throw a guard because you won't get in there. So he's forced her now to weigh their angle up that he got to come into the rings here with his shooter.
Looking at a couple different options with those top 2 blue, seeing if there's any way he can get any of them in there in a good spot.
I think they're just trying to play a little double tap, change the angles, push 1 into the 4-foot. Symonds is going to play a takeout regardless of what they do.
Exactly.
And you got to hope that he get a jam or whatever and then make another good shot or an angle freeze or something to try to get something going in your favor and get the angle so that Symonds can't take him out easily without jamming.
Yeah, the guys are, Team DeLello is definitely looking for some sort of opportunity from Team Symonds here.
I think this is going to overcurl a bit. I think he was looking for a little double tap.
Yeah, and I just got a hair light on that one, Mark.
I think you're going to see a double on the one he just threw and the one on the other side. Yeah, there you go. Try to get rid of a couple of blue rocks. So I think you're going to see Steven Tricker coming with the heat.
Yeah, heater, as we like to call it, of course.
Can't hit it too thin because then you might hit the one in the middle and drive out on your own. But if you hit about a third, should be okay here.
Sweeping for straight here.
Hit more of a thin half that time.
Yeah, just leaves that other blue in the house there, but clears out the front a little bit, which is not the worst. It looks like Team DeLello is opting for the tap again here.
Yeah, I think I'd play a guard because he comes in, you might just give him an angle to double everything out, and then you got nothing.
If you were to play the guard here, Mark, where would you be putting it?
On the center line, guard your blue one. But you're coming in.
Looks good.
I say you're going to hit that blue and try to drive it back into the blue and pick them both out, or you can just throw and pick the one out he just raised.
Yeah,
I like hitting the top one. The top one right now is more dangerous than the rock in the rings.
Absolutely. Saw Symonds also motioning for a possible freeze, but I don't know how that helps him in this situation.
I don't know if he can get in for a freeze.
No, definitely need to get rid of something, but it looks like he's opting for the blue in the house.
Well, if it curls, you take the top one, you get it out.
Amazing.
He's going to be throwing pretty good weight here.
That's for sure. Yeah, definitely a couple options on this rock, and they're smart enough to play it tight.
I think they're just playing the top. No.
Oh, they're taking the out turn.
Taking the out turn. Trying to pick it out through.
It's unexpected, for me at least, but he does get it, and rolls to stick around.
But now you got a bit of a pocket down there that Lello can use. It's too late to throw a guard now. He's down to his third slash rock. So he's trying to play that blue tap freeze on the yellow. So it was a big shot here for Ryan McNeil Lambswood.
Rock's coming down the sheet. Got sweepers on it right now.
I thought they were playing the tap, but maybe they were playing into that pocket.
That's what it looks like, Mark. I also thought the call was the tap, but line and weight are saying the draw for sure. Really working this just to get it in. Comes up a hair light, but still going to be difficult for Symonds to remove.
Still usable. Well, it's going to be tough for Symonds to get that one out.
That's for sure.
Now, he should go up and rip that guard now. And hit it towards the other blue one on the other side.
Absolutely.
And open up the whole front of the house.
You guys missed it on this stream, but we had a timeout call from the ice. So team gets 90 seconds to discuss shot option. So we'll see what they decide here at the end. And so Curling Canada recently took away one of the timeouts for 10 any games. So instead of two 90-second timeouts per game, it's now only one. And so we're implementing that here this weekend, I'm sure, as you've seen. Mark, what are your thoughts on the one timeout compared to two?
Well, I think two is fine. I think one is enough. There's so many situations in curling that, most pro sports have more than one timeout.
I had the conversation with someone the other day that in most other pro sports, you have coaches on the sidelines the whole game.
That too. So I don't know. I know they're trying to fit it into a TV package. And if you want, outside of the Brier and the Scottish playdowns, all the tour games and all the other national championships are 8 ends.
I fully agree.
And they're 8 ends because it fits into a TV package.
Exactly.
And the only ones that don't, that are still 10, are the men's and ladies. And I think eventually, there's going to be pressure from the TV because 8 ends, and you have your 2 timeouts, and you have your 5th end or 4th end break, and a little bit of leeway can fit into a 2.5-hour package. I don't think you can cut away any more time. If you cut away more time, you're going to have speed curling.
I agree, Mark.
I think that takes away from too much. And the only teams that would be able to manage the time properly then are the teams that are full-time.
Absolutely.
Because they play so much, they can get used to it. For most teams, it'll be a train wreck.
Yep, that's for sure, Mark. And I fully agree with that. I think 10 ends is not going to be around for much longer at any top level. Just a bit too long, like you said, for the TV package.
Symonds is playing that pick here. I thought that'd be the right shot.
It does get
that's a really
double off the back.
Really good shot by Trent Skane. He's had
absolutely on fire.
He's had a really strong game.
Yeah, absolutely on fire today.
Well, the difference so far through 9 ends has been the 2 middle guys for Symonds have outplayed the 2 middle guys for Lello. Dewars had a pretty good game, as has Aaron Feltham.
Yep.
But Stephen Trickett and Trent Skanes have not missed very much this game.
That's for sure, Mark. And
as a result, Ty Lello, he's played really well himself, and he hasn't had much to work with. So that's it. It's still only a 2-point game. And
that's
we're
true, Mark.
Down late in the 9th end here. So I'm looking to me like he's playing a hit and roll.
I think so, Mark. I think he's just trying to get into the pocket there, just behind his blue.
And you never know what might happen.
Exactly. 2 points is not a whole lot in the grand scheme. Obviously, at this level, it's pretty difficult to come back from an early from getting down early. But Team DeLello's been slowly chipping away, and it's only 2 right now. So this is an important shot here for them.
They can't lose the liner. They got to get a roll.
We've got a close line call here, Mark. A little bit of panic at the end there by the sounds of it out in the ice shed. But a really nice rock there.
I think Symonds is just going to pile drive it.
Fully agree, Mark. I think he's just going to throw a heater and...
Well, I don't know if you can see all of it. It's pretty close. You can probably get 3/4 anyway.
It looks like a thick half from where I'm sat, but again, pretty hard to see from up here.
Well, my camera angle, Symonds is standing in the way. Well, I can't see it. Maybe we should ask him to move, Emily.
Maybe, Mark. You want to go out and tell him?
I think if you throw a heater and you hit the top one on 1/4 of a rock, you might be able to squeeze that out. The back one, you might be able to get it just coming off the back one and kill 2 of them.
I think you do, Mark.
And Andrew Symonds can throw it hard enough.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that the back blue just sort of shimmies through those 2 yellows and might take one of them on the way, but it's pretty close. You might lose the yellow back 4, but...
Symonds is not worried about
Nobody
the yellow
cares.
back 4. He's not worried about any of his own.
No,
as long
exactly.
As if he can get the 2 blues out.
That's the goal here. And like you said, Mark...
The only thing he doesn't want to do is jam, and leave 2 blues there because the back one will be gone.
Exactly. Like you said, Symonds can definitely throw the weight for it, so it's just a matter of what he wants to throw, but...
No, he's not even going to go at it. They're going to guard it.
Yeah, opting for the guard here, which is also not the worst call.
I think what it is now, where we got a better angle on the rocks, yellow is shot at the back of the 4-foot.
They are, yep.
So if they put a rock just on the right-hand side of the center line from our angle here now, the yellow's got to draw around it. They're only going to be line 1. If the rock is, if I'm reading this right.
Yep. I agree, Mark. I think it's pretty obviously yellow shot.
I was thinking that blue was shot rock there, but yellow, it looks lost that yellow was shot rock. So
that's
changes,
a game changer. Yeah.
Changes what your decision may be.
Absolutely. Still looking for curl here. Doesn't really want to move. But it's coming here now at the end. Really trying. And that's some big finish from what we've seen, Mark. That's a pretty good rock. Mark, I think Skip Tide Lello really likes angle raises and the in-offs.
Well, I don't think he can make a play on the blue rock and get rid of the 2 yellows. We have a timeout here now, folks, being called. So there's a couple of different options that they can play here. It'd be nice if it were them. They'd like to lie 2. So how do you lie 2?
I don't mind the double on the yellow, but I think that leaves Symonds a relatively easy shot in the big scheme. Of course, nothing is easy here.
No, if you make the double on the yellow, if Symonds is going to score, you might have to draw. Because that's going to be a tough double on those 2 yellows.
Fully agree.
And there's a pretty good chance you could jam them and not get one out. So
this is a pretty tough situation here, Mark.
I'm not sure what they decided to do here.
Think the double here, by the looks of it. But again, that does leave Andrew Symonds for the draw.
No, they're going to play the double to try to lie 2. I think if they want to steal, they need to lie 2.
I agree, Mark.
That's what I would think. So you got to hit about probably less than 1/4 rock here. So with that ice, he got that in-off pop on release. So then it should just run pretty straight down here. You want to hit a thin 1/4.
Yeah, just really got to make sure he gets by that guard. But if he's only hitting 1/4, he should be clear of that.
Haven't laid a broom on it.
Got hard for curl here, Mark. It's pretty close. And he's got it.
Are they lying too?
They're at least one.
It's pretty close. Now, that hold is tricky because it's so straight and it runs a bit.
I don't think this angle gives us any better rock.
He doesn't want to draw against two. You can, but...
So here we have the overhead of the far end here. It's at a bit of an angle, so it's not fully true.
Yeah, it looks like they're lying too. Well, that was a good shot by Lello. He's kept them in this game in a big
Mark.
way.
Absolutely. He's been on fire, and like we've been saying, he hasn't been left with much.
He hasn't had many easy shots this game.
He's really given it his all this game to keep them in it. And looks like Symonds just opting for the draw here, draw for one.
Well, playing the draw, I call this is what you call experience. He's had good. No, he's going to play the hit.
Never mind, Mark.
They switched their mind.
I think they're messing with us, you know?
Well, he might try to be. He's messing with you.
Yeah.
He's messing with me.
I don't know, Mark. Sounds like he's messing with you as well. But we're off, and it looks like we're playing the hit here. Lots of panic for line here.
Screaming going on. Ooh.
And unfortunately, just on that top guard.
Now, Tide coming home.
That will be a steal of 2 for Team Lello in the 9th end. Like you said, Tide.
I did not see that coming, Emily.
Neither did I, Mark.
We'll take a short station break, and we'll be right back to bring you the final end of this great, exciting game.
Let's go. All right, folks, back for the final end of the 2025 NL Tankard. We'll say final one. We have Team Lello versus Team Symonds. Big rock from Team Lello in the 9th, and unfortunate miss from Team Symonds, which led Team Lello to a steal of 2 in the 9th to tie the game. My bad, I forgot to update the score from the 8th end, so we did have a little miscue in the scores there last end, but it is tied 5-5 with Symonds having hammer coming home in the 10th. And yeah, this is that came straight out of left field. Team Lello had been struggling to catch up to Team Symonds after a steal of 2 in the first, but just got it done last end, and now we're tied coming home, which is what you want for a good game here, folks. So we're in for a nice end here.
Well, one thing to note when you look at the scoreboard, there's 2 deuces. Both of them were steals.
Absolutely.
So you don't see that every day.
Nope, that's especially at this level, Mark.
Yeah, we got people coming in from all over the island looking at this game.
We do. There's quite the crowd here.
Well, there's a number of people here, a number of players that play in St. John's now, but they're not from St. John's. They're from, the West Coast, Corner Brook and that way and whatever. So you got family and friends and brothers and everything else here. So the mood in the curling club just went electric with that steal of 2.
Yep, that was big for Team DeLello.
Now, that said, the control still lies with Team Symonds, who has the hammer.
Absolutely.
But they're pretty deflated.
This is looking real nice from Team DeLello here, Mark. Just gets a rub off, redirects to right behind their center, right on the pin.
Well, they can't play a hit yet, so. Oh, he can play a hit.
Yeah, opting for the draw
I don't
here
know
instead.
why he
Mark.
doesn't rip the guard. I think I would have taken that guard off.
I agree, Mark. I like the peel here all day, but Symonds just calling for the draw here. Really going hard for line here. Just comes up a little short from shot rock.
Yeah. Lello wants the most rocks in play possible here because there's only that one lonely guard, so he got to get some angles working for him.
Absolutely. Looking at the freeze in between those
The
two
situation
yellow
now,
there.
these players are going to find the pressure ramped up.
Absolutely. We did see that Daniel Bruce had his draw weight there last end, 2 ends ago, so we'll see if he's still got it here now in the 10th. Key shot here.
A little inside-outside on that one.
Boys are on it hard for the scrub, Mark.
Well, that's going to get right there. That's going to be in on top of those yellows, which is where they want it to be.
Yeah, just trying to hold the line here.
You got to get it a bit farther than that.
Really trying to hold the line. And just comes up a hair short, but still in a decent spot. Overlaps one of those yellows.
Take off that middle guard.
There we go.
Then you got 4 rocks to come, and you can whack away. He takes off this guard. Your next 4 shots is like you're playing whack-a-mole.
Absolutely. You know it, Mark. I'm surprised Symonds didn't do this on Trickett's first, to be completely honest, but, you know. Now opting to guard the yellow.
He got to put the guard back on that yellow one.
Absolutely. That's a danger stone right now, so guarding that is key to stealing this end.
Because the situation there now, if they keep guarding that yellow one, it's going to be tough for Symonds to get that blue rock out. They're only going to have that skinny slash on the right-hand side. But again, they got to get this guard back on this yellow one.
And third rocks already, Mark.
And that line looks pretty good to me coming down here now. Comes up a little bit at the end. And I'm Symonds. I'm
really
running
nice.
that back in that pack somewhere.
That's a really nice rock there from third Ryan McNeil-Amswood of Team DeLello. Just guarding that yellow. And looks like Andrew Symonds will be back up to rip this one in the front. Trent Skainstone, third rocks. And the straight peel there. I think you'll see Team DeLello put that guard right back up. Try and waste some more rocks here.
Yeah, this situation, every rock here gets a little more critical for Symonds to get that rock off the pin, because without moving it, he has no way to he can't draw. So he's got to have an angle, and right now the only angle he got, if they keep putting this guard back, is that skinny on the outside yellow one, which is not an easy shot.
Absolutely not. Certainly not a gimme shot, Mark.
Now, I wouldn't play this slash the same way they just played. I'd drop this back into the pack, rearrange all the angles, get the because that stagger, they can't run it back. They got to get the stagger off. Run it back into the pack and take your chances.
Really just got to move some angles around here, and as long as he has an open shot on his last, he's looking pretty good. So
Now, this works too.
yeah, ripping something here is
Because
great.
if you hit it thin, it's going to come off lower, off the yellow rock, so you might be able to kill one of the yellow ones. But you need to be firm.
Well, we all know Trent Skeins can throw the
He-
weight. We've seen
well,
it this game.
Trent's had a big game. He's made some pistoled rocks. This could be a good rock error. Well, if Lello puts the guard back, the angle now has gotten better. If you got to play that blue one in, the only thing, it's not your own rock. So they're down to Skip's rocks here, and right now the angles favor Lello.
Trying to put this guard back by the looks of it. Key shot for Team DeLello. Got to make this guard stay in it. Don't want to leave Team Symonds with a 2-foot run. And you can hear the silence in the club as the rock starts to go down the sheet.
Yeah, he just wants to get a good guard here and play now on that center line and see what Symonds is going to do. I would think he's going to play some kind of run back.
Sweepers seem to like it. Got a bit of room.
That line looks like it's going to be fine. All the finishes at the end here. But they want to close the hole, and I think they're going to do that.
Really working for curl here, but oh, rock looks good. That's a nice guard there from Ty DeLello at skip.
I think and he's trying to play the double on the guards. They put the guard back. He's no better off. I'd like playing the run back here straight back.
Absolutely agree, Mark. I think the run is the call here, and I think I did see just an indication
if he
for a
makes
straight
what
peel.
he called, they put the guard back. He's got to play that skinny double.
Absolutely. Yeah, pretty close on the line call here, Mark. And just runs one of the blues into the house here. Like you said, Mark, doubled off the
Now,
top, but he's
if he
really no
guards
better.
Where that rock ended up that came into the house, if he guards this, that skinny double might not be there because the one on the button might jam on the other one on the side.
I fully agree, Mark. I think the angles just got worse
I
for
say
Symonds.
If he puts the guard on this, I think the odds shift to Team Lello to win this game.
And that's big, Mark. If Team DeLello wins this game, that's it.
It's all over.
This just got real interesting, folks. We've got Ty DeLello's last rock here in the 10th end, looking to guard this center line run.
Well, it's funny. It's the last end. It's the best end that they've played this game.
Absolutely, Mark. I'm very impressed with this end.
You got to hang tight and wait for your chance.
If it takes 3 hours to beat him, Mark, it takes 3 hours.
Absolutely.
Good old quote from good friend Glenn Goss. And I'm sure many other curlers abide by the same rule.
That line looks a little bit wider, but the curl, it does finish pretty good here.
I think I like the line here, Mark. It's looking real close.
They got to bring it over.
You just got to get it over a little more.
No.
Oh, that's a beauty, Mark. This is going to be tough for Symonds.
He only has one shot, and it is tough. I think the straight back is easier than at the slash.
I fully agree, Mark. I think the slash is too risky. I'd be playing the straight run. But, Mark, we already have the Scotties Playdowns champions. We could have the Briar Playdown, the Tankard champions today as well.
We might very well. So, what's he playing here? Is he playing a redirect on the blue?
I think that's what I'm seeing, Mark.
Or is he trying to come around the guard tight and play a tap?
I think I'm seeing the redirect. I didn't quite catch the call, but with that ice, that's my assumption. Got lightweight here, though, Mark. I don't think he had a lot of time left.
I think he's playing to come around.
Yeah, it does look like the come around. It's curling, Mark.
Oh!
And
Lello, steal 1 and 10 to win the 2025.
Team DeLello is your 2025 NL Tankard champion.
What a finish, folks. What
a finish and what a comeback, Mark. The club is electric here, folks. What a game. This is First Briar here for Team DeLello. You can see the selling here from Ryan McNeil Lambswood and Daniel Bruce, Ty DeLello, and Aaron Feltham. What a game,
what
folks.
A finish.
What a game, and just an absolute hoot of a celebration.
Yeah.
The boys have done it.
What a finish.
That is such a good showing there from Team DeLello to steal in the last end against two-time Briar appearance Andrew Symonds.
Anyway, folks, that's a wrap.
That is a wrap. That is the end of the 2025 NL Tankard and NL Scotties Playdowns. I'm Emily Neary with Mark Noseworthy. We thank you guys for all tuning in this week. It's been an electric weekend here at the club, and first-timers for Scotties and the Briar appearances this week. Big thanks to all our supporters. Big thanks to everyone this weekend, and a big congratulations to all the teams who played. What a great showing, and a big congratulations once again. Thanks all for joining us. Take care, and we'll